Going on, guys? Ormus Forum coming at you guys today with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the preview. Detroit Lions, the Seattle Seahawks coming to Ford Field to face our Detroit Lions in a Week 2 matchup. Seahawks coming in at 0-1, and the Lions at a 1-0 start. Seahawks coming off a disappointing loss versus the LA Rams, and then the Lions going to Arrowhead last week and winning and beating Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs with a 1-0 start with a 21-20 win. This is the home opener for Detroit, the Barry Sanders unveiling. I know they unveiled the statue today. I think it was a private setting, and then I'm pretty sure they're going to do it for the fans as well. I'm not 100% on that, but it's already unveiled. It's all over social media. It's a really cool picture. It's a picture of Barry where his whole body's contorted. Awesome statue. Awesome statue. Looks great. Can't wait to see it. I won't be there for the home opener, but I will be there the following week. This is a big game. This is a revenge game for the Detroit Lions, actually. They came into our house last year, and it was like both of our teams just, I think there was one punt the whole game, and it was by us. I forget what the score was, but I think both teams had 40s or high 30s. It was a crazy game. Goff had a good game. Gino had a good game running. No defense was absolutely played on that day, and the Seahawks came up with the victory. And then, the Seahawks needed to, I believe it was end of the year too. Last year, we needed the LA Rams to beat Seattle in order for us to possibly advance. And Seattle ended up beating the Rams, and we ended up beating the Packers too. So they didn't go to the playoffs. But this is like a revenge game, man. We owe them twice. We owe them twice from last year. We should have probably won that game last year. Losing that home with a high-scoring game like that is tough. We needed one stop. We couldn't get it. I don't think Seattle punted once. From what I can remember, it was like one, maybe two punts that whole game, and it was only by us. Lots of points scored. But, let's get to the injury report, and there's some stuff to talk about. Now, the injury report's pretty lengthy for the Seattle Seahawks. Safety, Jamal Adams. Starter, he's a knee. Limited practice on Friday, but he's not going to be going. He hasn't played in a while. Jamal Adams, really good safety. He's more of a, not the best cover safety, but he is a pretty good run stuffer. Plays the run well, and he blitzes very well for a safety as well too. So his game status, he is out. Left tackle Charles Cross, he has a toe, did not practice on Friday. He is out as well. Right tackle Abraham Lucas, another starter. He has, I believe he has a knee injury. 100% not sure, but I think it's a knee injury. Did not practice on Friday. He's out. He's actually been IR'd, so he will be missing at least 4 weeks. Don't know of how severe it is, but he is out for at least a month. The defensive end, Mike Morris, I think he's a rookie. Shoulder, did not practice. He's out as well for the Seattle Seahawks. Linebacker Devin Bush, shoulder, always banged up linebacker, but a pretty good one. Played at Michigan. You guys know who he is. He was like, he might even won Rookie of the Year as a Pittsburgh Steeler a few years back, but he's been banged up ever since. He had the shoulder injury. He's limited practice. He's questionable, so he's probably going. And then linebacker Boy Mafe has a knee. He did not practice on Friday, so he's questionable right now. He's a game time decision, maybe. I kind of read a little bit of both, that he's going to be a game time, he's going to go, don't know. So they'll probably try to test out that knee for Boy Mafe. He's a pretty good linebacker too. He can get to the quarterback. Game time decision. And then nickel cornerback Devin Witherspoon, their first round pick. I think he was drafted 5th overall by Seattle 2023. Had a hamstring injury. Don't really know if he practiced on Friday. The status was kind of unclear. His game status looks like it's no injury designation, but it looks like he's going to be going. The defensive tackle Cameron Young, I think pretty sure he's a rookie as well too, with a knee injury. He didn't. I don't know if he practiced on Friday either, but he had no injury designation, so it looks like he's probably going to go. Then linebacker Jordan Brooks, knee, vet rest. He was a full practice on Friday. No injury designation, so probably a go as well. And then tight end Will Dissly is the backup guy to Noah Fant, and he had a shoulder. Don't really know if he practiced on Friday, but no injury designation, so he's probably a go-to as well. So Seahawks got some injuries. Couple big key guys out with their 2 starting bookend tackles with Cross and Lucas. That's humongous. And a guy like Jamal Adams, he's kind of the voice of that defense too. So they got some guys that could be not playing, some guys that are out for sure. Now on to the Lions. Now we got some news right away. Josh Pascal, the defensive end, D lineman, and Khalil Dorsey have been IR'd. They were missing at least the first 4 weeks of the season, or the next 4 weeks, because we would have played a game. So those guys are out. Pascal is a part of that big rotation on that D line. Made a great play last week against Kansas City Chiefs on that third, and I believe it was either a third and short or a fourth and short. Can't remember, but Pascal shot through the line, made the stop, and either they punted or we got the rock back. But Pascal made a really good play last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. He will be missed because he's part of that rotation. And then Khalil Dorsey is a hell of a gunner on special teams. He's like, he's a rotational cornerback that doesn't get much playing time, doesn't much get snaps actually, but he's a good guy on special teams, and he will be missed too as well. So he's out, IR'd as well. It's short-term IR apparently, so hopefully it's just 4 weeks. Good luck to those guys. We need Pascal back, so we'll see what happens with that. But and Dorsey's is weird too because it was an illness. It was an illness, and don't know what's going on. COVID. I don't even know. But he did not practice all week, and then he's IR'd. So I don't really know. Illness is pretty serious. If you're going to miss, if you're going to get put on IR. So hopefully it's nothing too serious with Dorsey. So vibes up for him, but he is out. And then, like I said, Pascal has the knee IR too as well. And then cornerback Emmanuel Mosley, another disappointing setback. He's already got the knee. He's trying to fight back from the knee. Now he just acquired a hamstring problem. Did not practice. He is out again as well. Hopefully this kid doesn't get IR'd. He's supposed to be our cornerback too, and he hasn't yet to see the field yet. So he is out, and we need to get him back as soon as possible. So 3 guys out for sure. 4 guys out, 100%, and we'll go from there. And then 4 guys now. 4 guys now because I forgot Decker. Left tackle Taylor Decker has an ankle. Did not practice all week, especially on the Friday, which is big. He was a doubtful. He got downgraded to out, and this was a weird story too because again, you go on social media and you talk about things like this, and you get part of a fan base that just doesn't like. They don't like to hear stuff like our players being out or hurt. Because I went on a couple sites on Facebook and it was like, prepare for Taylor Decker probably not to play if he doesn't even get a little bit of snaps in during practice. And Tuesday came along, did not practice. Wednesday did not practice. So I started panicking a little bit. Not panicking, but saying, prepare yourselves, Lions fans. Lions fans get all upset. They all get in their feelings. So Thursday comes around and I'm like, he's not playing. There's a good chance this guy's not going to be playing. Here comes Matt Nelson. Here comes a big O-line shuffle. Don't know what they're really going to do, but I'm a little bit nervous. I got called stupid, a moron. I got called a know-nothing YouTuber. I got my YouTube channel attacked from one guy because he did not want to hear that Taylor Decker wasn't playing. He was adamant that he was going to play, and all I was saying to the guy was, just prepare yourself, man. Like, he just might not play. Like, we might see Matt Nelson in there. We might see Vaitai go over there. We might see Penei Sewell get moved over there. So there's going to be an O-line shuffle. We'll get to that in a bit. I'll get to a Dan Campbell quote when he talks about it. When I talk about I might as well talk about it now. Okay, let's talk about it now. Then center Frank Ragnow had a toe rest. You guys know about the toe. Did not practice. He practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. He rested on Friday. It looks like he was resting. Unspecified whether he was playing, he's going to play tomorrow. I'll put my money on it and say that 100% he's playing now. It's just his toe it's inoperable. You can't do nothing about it. You can wrap it up. I don't even know if he even does that anymore. But he's my guess, and I would bet my house on it that he's playing tomorrow. Okay, but he did not practice on Friday. But I think it was vet rest. So I'll go to a little thing that Dan Campbell wrote or said to the media. Campbell, quote on the O-line situation, okay? Reported situation that could possibly happen. This is before I think Decker went out. We've done 3 different things. We've kept Sewell over there at right tackle. We've had Halapoulivaati, Big V, moved to left tackle. We've moved Sewell to left tackle. We've had Vaitai out at right tackle. Graham, Glasgow in at right guard. So we're going to continue messing with that today, and then we'll see. The beauty is we've got options we feel pretty good about. Certainly Nelson's involved in all that as well. So take that with a grain of salt on what you think is going to happen tomorrow. I don't have a clue. My guess is I hope it's not like, I hope they don't move Nelson and Glasgow to both right guard and right tackle, and then move Sewell to the left. I'd like to see Sewell to the left. I really would. Because they got a guy over there, Draymond Jones, who's not a world beater. He's a big defensive end, but he's probably their best pass rusher. Not their most explosive pass rusher, but he's probably their best. So I would want their best on our best on their best, at least getting to Goff. So, but if it's Glasgow and Nelson, but then you take out Vaitai, which is no reason to take out Vaitai. So I'm just hoping they don't play Vaitai at all at right tackle or left tackle, because he's disastrous as an offensive tackle. We've seen it. It's the reason why he moved to guard. And he's a better suited at guard. Now, Colby Sorsdal could be involved in this, but he's probably going to be playing guard. They're not taking out Jonah Jackson. Could Vaitai move over to right tackle? I don't like that. Having him there and then a rookie, a green Colby Sorsdal. It just, I don't see it. You're not taking Sewell out of the lineup. That's for sure. I got a lot of concerns, man. I got a lot of concerns if Nelson is in there, especially if Nelson's in at left tackle. Right tackle, I can almost handle it, but not left. I just don't want him at left tackle, but he is their primary backup. Like, you guys can go look it up. He is the primary backup to Taylor Decker. I just hope he's not there on an island with a guy like Draymond Jones. And like I said, Draymond Jones is no world beater, but he could have a day against Matt Nelson. It could happen. So obviously there'll be chipping. They'll have a tight end there, running back, whoever, helping out Matt Nelson. So my guess is as good as yours. I don't have a clue what they're going to do. I know they're not taking out Sewell. They're not going to be taking out guys like Jonah Jackson. Is Glasgow going to come in? Is Vaitai going to get moved? Is Sewell going to get moved? There's going to be some shuffling going on. I just really don't. I kind of pray that Matt Nelson's not in there on an island. I just really do. I'm not sitting there panicking, put the panic button, because we're not going up against a guy like Daniil Hunter or anything like that, man, or a Rashawn Gary, or anything like that, or a Myles Garrett, or you know what I mean, or Aiden Hutchinson. We're not going up against guys like that, but those guys can get to the quarterback. They got a couple guys that can get to the quarterback. It's not a great defense, so we'll talk about that in a bit. I've gone on too long about it. But next time, don't attack people on social media. I know I shouldn't be saying stuff like that, because I'm guilty as charged as well. I do stuff like that, but I'm just trying to have a football conversation with these Lions fans, and they just get all up in their feels, man. It's crazy. Like, people were adamant that Taylor Decker was going to play, and I was like, I don't think he's going to, man. If he does not practice, expect him probably not to play. He's out. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back for it, because I want Decker in there. I want Taylor Decker in there. I said, prepare yourselves, man, for Matt Nelson. Prepare it. And it makes me a little bit nervous. So, let's get down to the rosters right away. We'll talk about it really quick. Roster Seahawks. Seahawks are the road team, so I talk about them first. Let's go talk about the offense. Led by Pete Carroll, quarterback, head coach, the old man. Getting it done still. Quarterback Geno Smith had that coming out year last year. Drew Lock is their backup. Their running back, they have a good running back unit. Kenneth Walker III, Zach Charbonnet, the rookie out of UCLA, former Michigan Wolverine. Guys got like DJ Dallas too, who can catch the ball in the backfield. Then wide receiver, probably one of the scariest duos in the NFL with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Now you add a real high draft pick, Jackson Smith and Jigba, the rookie out of Ohio State, who's explosive as well too. That could be a real dangerous trio. And then you add guys like Jake Bobo, another rookie, like a big kid. So they got some wide receivers over there. And tight end Noah Fant, another high pick. Will Dissly coming in to back up. And then the center, Evan Brown, if you guys remember him, ex-Detroit Lion, played some games for us, started some games for us. Not a bad center, but a backup you normally a backup center. So it's not the greatest O-line, and it got even 10 times worse. It was bad, I think, with guys like Lucas and Hunt and Cross in there. But it gets even worse. Right guard, Phil Hames. Right tackle, Jake Curran, who will be in for Abraham Lucas. Then left tackle, Stone Forsyth, who will be in there for Charles Cross. So take that, man, for what you will. I think our D-line is going to absolutely feast tomorrow. And I'm not calling these guys punks or anything like that, Seattle. I just don't think their O-line is very good. And then left guard Damian Lewis to round it off. So 2 starting offensive tackles out. They got a ton. They got like 3 rookie backups too. 3 of them. You know, one guy's from Michigan. I forget that kid's name. Nigerian kid, but a good center. A center, right guard, and a right tackle. So they got some good players, but they're green. They're rookies. They're young. They've got some like guys that haven't started at all on the bookends. Let's go, Lions defense. Let's go. No excuses, man. Then the defense. They got left defensive end Mario Edwards Jr. I think he used to play for the Texans, maybe the Browns too. Not a bad football player, but Mario Edwards, nose tackle. Jaron Reed, right defensive end. Draymond Jones is a guy that I keep an eye on a little bit. Left outside linebacker, Boy Mafe. He's questionable. It should be a game time decision. Probably be testing out that knee. The middle linebacker, Jordan Brooks, who's pretty good. And then Devin Bush backing him up. And then you got Bobby Wagner back in the mix. He is in Seattle now. He's back in Seattle, and he's a tackling machine. He had a huge day against the Rams last week. Big-time tackler. Older, but he still gets the job done. And then right outside linebacker, Uchenna Nwosu. Another decent football player as well. And then their left cornerback, Trey Brown, strong safety. Julian Love will be in for Jamal Adams. And then free safety, Quandre Diggs, ex-Detroit Lion as well. Never wanted him to leave. And right cornerback, Tariq Woolen, who had that big year last year for Seattle. Bunch of picks, rookie. Big, tall, thick corner who makes some plays. And then nickel cornerback, Devin Witherspoon, their first-round pick, rookie, who will be probably starting in that nickel. So it's not a great defense by any stretch. There's no real superstar. I think Bobby Wagner is going to be a Hall of Famer one day. I really do. I think he's that good. He's probably their best defensive player, but you can exploit this defense, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Now the Lions offense, man. Lions offense didn't do much last week against Kansas City Chiefs. Ben Johnson took full blame for that. That's what potential head coaches do, And Jared Goff is the guy too, saying the same thing, that he takes full blame for only putting 14 points on the board. They did move the ball a little bit last week against the Chiefs, but they didn't get in the end zone. Had that big fumble in the red zone by Marvin Jones. But they're at home. They're a whole different team at home. If this is going to be the same kind of thing from last year, I'm not saying it's going to be. We kind of saw them prove a little bit on the road last week. Points weren't there, but they were moving the ball. We're moving the chains. They're a different animal at home. I expect this team to score out will. I really do. So Jared Goff, you got Teddy Bridgewater backing him up. Running backs, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, so explosive. You got Reynolds and Kabinda in there too. Then wide receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, stud. Josh Reynolds had a big game last week. Marvin Jones Jr. needs a bounce back. Khalif Raymond, got to use him more. And then Antoine Green will probably could possibly get some looks if they're going to do maybe an exchange with Marvin Jones. But you got to get MJ going again, though. He had that bad game. He doesn't have a lot of bad games in his career. Then tight end, Sam Laporta, looks like he's going to be tight end 1. Brock Wright's over there 2. James Mitchell, can't forget about those guys. Then left tackle, and this is where it gets tricky. Don't know what's going on at left tackle. Is it going to be Matt Nelson, Vaitai? Is it going to be Sewell? Don't really know, but Decker is done. Decker is out, short. No IR just yet, hopefully not, but he is out for the Seattle game. Left guard, Jonah Jackson, good guard. Center, Frank Ragnow, can't see him not playing. Maybe if he doesn't go, Graham Glasgow, but Ragnow will be playing. Then right guard, I think it's going to be Big V. And the right tackle, Penei Sewell. There could be some O-line shuffling going on there, but that's still a really good O-line, even with some of the additions that we don't want to see, like the Matt Nelsons and stuff like that. So, and they did call up Coyote Iwosika as well. They did call him up as well from the practice squad, so he can fill in a guard, he can fill in a tackle. He's a physical dude, he's a big dude, so we'll see what happens there. They're just kind of like backing themselves up and just protecting themselves. So a bunch of different combinations going on, man. What are we going to see? I don't have a clue. But the defense, let's talk about the defense. Defensive end John Kaminsky, no Pascal though, backing him up, so you might see a Romeo Akwara here get involved. Nose tackle Benito Jones. Are we going to see defensive tackle Aleem McNeil? Are we going to see Isaiah Buggs? He didn't dress last week. Is he going to dress? Time will tell. We'll know more tomorrow at around 11:30, 12 o'clock when they get the final rosters out, the healthy scratches and all that stuff, and the guys that are going to be out. And then the rush ends, Aiden Hutchinson. Romeo. You got those guys. James Houston in there. Charles Harris. The Will linebackers, Anzalone, Rodrigo backing him up. Middle linebacker, Derek Barnes, Jack Campbell. I think Jack Campbell's going to get a couple more looks, the rookie out of Iowa. The edge, kind of the Sam linebacker role, Charles Harris, James Houston, like I said. Then the left corner, Cam Sutton. You got strong safety, Kirby Joseph, Ife Melifonwu, will he be dressing? You got free safety, CJ Gardner-Johnson, bringing the pain, bringing the noise, bringing the energy. We love what he brings to the table. The Tracy Walker coming off the bench. Right cornerback Jerry Jacobs kind of had an off game last week versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Needs to be better. And then with Mosley out, that's what. And then they called up guys like Chase Lucas, with Dorsey out, with Emmanuel Mosley out. So Lucas is up. He's probably going to be playing that gunner role. Maybe he'll get in some snaps in, but they're going to have to do some type of a rotation. I'm sure they will. I'm just really talking about mainly the starters. The nickel cornerback Brian Branch, the rookie, had a nice play last week, man, with a tip ball. It went through Tony's hands. Kadarius Toney from the Chiefs, and good awareness, good reaction time. Grabbed it with one hand, took it to the house for a pick six. So, like I said, they called up Iwosika, they called up Chase Lucas from the practice squad, a couple guys that can maybe possibly contribute. Then you got Patterson and Fox as our place kickers and our punter. And Patterson's been pretty good so far. Hit a couple field goals as well. And Fox is just a good punter. Now let's talk about this. Let's talk about this Seahawks offense and defense. And I'll do a score prediction as fast as I can. I've already got 22 minutes in. Thanks for coming into here, guys, and listening to me rant and rave about this preview. But, the Seahawks offense, man, they had a resurgence last year with Geno Smith. Came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, I think he was comeback player of the year. They have a really good offense. It's a good offense, but not the greatest O-line. And their O-line is decimated right now. It's decimated. They got two guys at the bookends that haven't really, I don't know if they even got one start between them. And then, Evan Brown, who's their center, and he's not a bad center, but he can be beat, and he can be beat on the regular. He's gonna know this offense a little bit though, Evan Brown. He's gonna know the defense of the Detroit Lions. You know what I mean? He's a smart dude. Obviously, he's won himself a spot. I think the Seahawks gave him a little bit of money to be their starter, but he doesn't have a ton of experience, but he has started some games, and he's a decent center. But I think this whole O-line could be exploited. But they got guys like DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, who are absolute problems. I know Lockett got a little bit banged up last week. Can Geno get him the ball? He's showed in the past that he can. And then they drafted that Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's a really explosive wide receiver out of OSU, Ohio State Buckeye, who gets the job done. So, they got a really good offense minus that O-line. So I expect some quick hitters. I don't really expect them to be running off tackle too much. But Walker and Charbonnet, that's two really good running backs right there. Charbonnet, is a workhorse at UCLA, former Michigan Wolverine. He can run the ball. Walker is their guy though, and he gives defenses fits. So I see a lot of quick hits by this offense in Seattle. I don't see them trying to with 7-step drops. Lots of times I see timing routes. They're gonna have to get open real quick. Geno's going to have to get the ball out of his hands really fast. He's really going to have to. And I think we can get to the quarterback. Hutch should have a day. Houston should have a day. Charles Harris needs to have a day. Kaminsky needs to get in there. They need to make some plays. They need to make some plays, and I think they will. Now, guys like, Cam Sutton are in for a treat with DK Metcalf, Jerry Jacobs, whoever's going to be on who. Sutton's supposed to be on number 1. I'm sure he'll be traveling most of the day with DK Metcalf. But Metcalf's going to kill you. Metcalf's going to hurt you all day. Lockett's going to hurt you. He's going to fly. He's going to go deep. Metcalf can go deep as well. And then you can't forget about Njigba. Like, you're going to see guys like Brian Branch. You're going to see guys like you're going to see guys like C.J. Gardner-Johnson on Njigba, Noah Fant. So, Kirby Joseph's going to have to make some plays. That this secondary is going to be busy. The secondary is going to be busy, but they need to get to Geno. If they give him time, we're in trouble. If they give Geno time, we're in trouble, and I just can't see how they're going to. I really can't, especially with the injuries. Even if those guys were in there, even Cross and Lucas were playing, I still think the Detroit Lions defense gets to Geno. I really do. So, and now those guys aren't in there. They got worse at the O-line, and that's one of their Achilles heel is their O-line. So that pretty much describes the Seahawks offense, and the Lions defense in a nutshell there. I think we get some turnovers, get a bunch of sacks. We should win this game. Now the Lions offense, different animal at home. They had a little bit of a slow, rough start against Kansas City. Moved the ball decently, but didn't get in the end zone enough. Only scored 14 points on offense because we got that pick 6 from Brian Branch. So they need to run the ball well, and you can run on this team. You could throw on this team. Matthew Stafford shredded that defense last week. Shredded them for 300-plus yards, well over 300 yards. Didn't throw for any touchdowns, but he looked like 25-year-old Matt Stafford out there. He was good. So Jared Goff should be doing the same. Matt Stafford was throwing the ball to Puka Nacua, a rookie, and Tutu Atwell. Like, come on, man. Like, you know what I mean? It was shredding them. Shredding. So Goff should have a day. Goff should have a day. There shouldn't be any excuses on why guys like Reynolds can't get open, Amon-Ra can't get open. They got to, their defense in Seattle is, it's not good, but it's not horrific. It's not good, but it's not horrific. Got a couple guys that I worry about getting to the quarterback. Draymond Jones can get to the quarterback a little bit. Let me see if I can find it. Draymond Jones, probably their best pass rusher. Boy Mafe is young. Mary Edwards has been around a little bit, but he can get there. Bobby Wagner is the leader of that defense. He's a tackling machine. He'll make some plays. Jordan Brooks, but they can do things to this defense. And they got Tariq Woolen out there who makes plays, but he kind of reminds me a little bit of Diggs from Dallas Cowboys. Reminds me a little bit of him. He takes a lot of chances. But he makes plays. He makes plays just like Diggs. He'll take a chance. He'll break on a route, and he's either guess right or guess wrong. And some of the times he's guessed right. So, but there's times where he's guessed wrong, and then he's blowing coverage, and then the other team is going for 6 or big yards, first down. So, and then they got a rookie out there, Devin Witherspoon, who's going to get some playing time. I don't know how much he's going to get playing time, but he's probably their starting nickel, I'm going to assume. He's coming off a little bit of a hamstring. Those linger a little bit. So what happens there? And then they got Julian Love, I think, had a pretty decent day last week, tackle-wise anyways, for them. Last week versus the Rams. But they gave up over, I think it was 30-something points against the Rams. And they don't have the team we have. The Rams don't have the team we have. So, I think they're going to exploit guys like Sam Laporta is going to get open. You're going to see guys like Bobby Wagner on him, though. Jordan Brooks. But guys like Amon-Ra is going to eat. Josh Reynolds should have a decent day. They should be able to run on these guys too. I'm hoping for a big Gibbs day, a big Montgomery day. I think we're going to score over 30 points. I think we're going to do what the Rams did. I think this offense is primed. They're at home opener. The masks are going to be out. The ski masks, wear them proudly. The villain mantra, the villain theme. Let's go, man. Let's go, Detroit. Pretty much covered everything, I think. Nothing I really messed about. Score prediction. I'm going to change it. I had it a little bit different here. I'm going to change it now. I'm going to say 36-20. I had it a little bit lower. I had 30-20. I'm going to pay 36-20. It's another extra 6 points. So I think, and I'm not disrespecting. I'm not disrespecting the Seattle Seahawks. I just think the home opener. I think things have changed in Detroit. I think we're winning this game. Take the points. I think it's, is it 4.5, 5.5? Don't know what it was last. I know it was the start. It was a little bit higher. They know a couple guys out. So I think last time I checked it was 5.5, but I think it's lower than that now. I think it's 4.5. Don't quote me on it, but I'm taking the points. Taking the points for Detroit. They're going to cover that. I got them winning by 16 points, man. I really do. Home opener. It might have been a different story. I still think they would have beat Seattle in Seattle, but at home, I can't see them losing. You know, in Seattle, if they lose this game, that dreaded 0-2 is a tough thing to come back from. So that's what I got, guys. Hopefully I covered everything. Hopefully you guys got any questions in the chat. Let me know. But that's the score prediction, 36-20. Detroit Lions. They're going up 2-0, baby. The villain squad's going to be out there. Let's go, man. Thanks a lot, guys, for coming into the video and watching. It's a long one, over 30 minutes. But sorry about that. These ones will be a little bit longer than normal. But thanks a lot for coming in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button at the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, get all my videos. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. What are you guys predicting, guys? I got 36-20 Detroit Football Lions. Let's go, baby. One pride. Go Lions. Boom. Let's go. Let's knock them out. Bang.